So, dear audiences, I want to ask a very simple question to Professor Muzammil Haque sir about the creation of humanity. I mean, there are thousands of scientific proofs that it was actually 6 billion years ago when first human beings came to the world, that there are some stones invented by the scientists that human being, they got the human beings kind of species which is actually more than 6 billion years ago. But in fact, when we just count the policies about the Adam, the Jesus, and kind of the things, Moses, it took for the Moses to come to the world for what I say thousands of years ago. It took Adam for years to thousands of years.
Short period.
Comparatively, it took
10,000 years.
Yes, 10,000 years. I have come forward to learn these very important things from some people.
So science tells us that
6 billion
human
years
has come on this earth 6 billion.
They're not talking
years
they're talking species like human-like species were found. They got the what I say, the fossils of the human kind of species. So is it not a contradiction between the science and the findings of what I say, the religious coming to the world? Adam, the first man on earth who was created by God. If we tell us in this way that Adam, if he takes 10,000 years for Adam to be on earth, right, and why is it 6 billion years?
There is a conflict between scientific findings
and the religious propagation,
religious stories.
Yes.
Suppose.
Can you not what I say completely abandon this very word? I mean, when we're talking about the communist world, the communist people are telling that egalitarianism or the primitive communism was the best form of society, and that's why people like Karl Marx, people like Lenin, Trotsky.
These are two different questions. The advent of human civilization on this earth, the time frame, and the communist claim that people were egalitarian, and communism was there. The primitive human society was a communist society. And that was bad for you. You want to discuss together.
Yes, I want to make a nexus between the. I mean, actually, at the end of the day, I'm just going to the conclusion about the consistency or the relevancy of the existence of God at all. In fact, I'm not just going to the rationalist position that who created God, something like this. These are pretty much weird question to me, because we are in a society today, we are in a world where people, you have got two kind of implications, theoretical as well as practical implications. We can discuss these thousands of years after years about the theoretical issues. It's just endless discussions. But when you are coming forward the practical implications, which is kind of political philosophy, which is the real development of the world, human history, then it is going to be a very much.
How can God be fitted there?
That's what I'm telling you. That
scenario.
Of course, there are also the things that.
What is God there in human history?
Yes. Prophet Muhammad, he was born there.
Human people worshipped God, but we can interpret the human history without referring to God.
Yeah.
From a communist point of view, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we are discussing this to make the thing clear. Not that we are communist, not that we are believer, or personally who are we.
Yes.
We are just making the points clear.
Yes. So I want to say that communism has failed to some extent. The communist people who love Karl Marx, they will be telling that it was the political structure of Soviet Union because of the mismanagement.
Which has failed. But communism has not failed.
Theoretically, communism has not failed. Islam has not failed. Buddhism, Hinduism, no religious, even the secularism. That's why today the world people, actually the political philosophers, as well as the other thinkers, they are telling that secularism is the best basis to actually continue the world. People like human civilization. When you are just what I say,
theory.
But at the end of the day, secularism is pretty much a weird thing, because when you are secularizing, what about the democracy? Are not secularism and democracy two incompatible things? Because in a democratic society like Bangladesh, we have 90% people who are Muslims. You cannot actually rule out the religious belief system, religious rituals from people's mindset at a time. You can just what I say, personalize their religious beliefs, but I mean, when you are just making it a compatible format with religion and secularism, isn't it going to be an incompatible discussion?
Of course incompatible. Let me put some opinions on these issues or questions. Firstly, the age of human civilization on this earth, the conflict between science and religion. Actually, this is a conflict between biblical story,
yes,
and science, not the Quranic story.
Yes.
Okay. In the Quranic story, there is no time frame.
Yes.
Nothing is described there. There is a prophetic narration which we call hadith about the time frame, but Islam is based on Quran, and Quran doesn't matter to describe the history. It just speaks about some pieces of history as stories or parables to give some lessons,
yes,
not to describe the history.
Right.
So it doesn't matter it is 6,000 years or 6 million years or 6 billion years.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Humanity and human enterprises are the more important and focused thing in the Quran.
Yes.
Okay. Then come to the question in the real history of human life. Why does God feed there?
Yes.
One thing is that I told a bit earlier that people worshipped God. Not all people, but
it's inherent in
significant number of people worshipped God. That doesn't mean that God is there, and because people worshipped God, there must be a God. People do think that there are ghosts, there are fairy tales and mothers. People believe in so many things. Some people do believe that there are aliens. That doesn't mean that there are really aliens there. Okay. Even if satisfies our mentality, or it is a good story to listen about. So why does God fit in the history of a human civilization? Look, it fits very well.
So isn't it a problem for the people?
Let me put it. What is the history of humankind? Forget about the time frame. People were in the cave. They were primitive.
Yeah, primitive.
And then they discovered fire, and then discovered the cultivation tools. They have become in this civilizational format that we see right now.
Yes.
Okay. So there could be a question, the why question. You see, the philosophers, they deal with the why question.
Yes.
Why man has developed in this way? Why man has developed civilization? Why man has developed philosophy? Why man has got science? Why man is debating about the world?
Yes.
Why man has come, beyond his natural habitat and territory. No animal has come beyond his territory. No animal is concerned beyond his basic instincts, suppose.
Yes.
Other animals, some animals has language, but this language is not developed.
Yes.
Other animals has some mentality, some ideas, some psychological things, but those things are very much limited and centered in their basic instincts and their habitat. Why man has civilization? Why man has philosophy? It doesn't need to be an atheist or theist or a believer or disbeliever. Why man has philosophy? Why man is the best creature? Why?
Yes.
The answer may be that if man is the selection of the nature. Answer could be that man is the son of God or creation or God or vicegerent of God, so and so. But man is significant.
Yes.
Man is different.
Right.
And there is no second one.
Yes.
Why? Why? So if we look the history, we see the events after events. But why the event happens? What is the underlying principle there? Who is playing? Who is contributing?
Right. In this case.
So a human baby becomes a human person. No training can make a monkey baby to be a human person like. It becomes a monkey.
Yes, ultimately.
Okay. But with training, proper training, a human baby could be a human being with so many capacities.
Right.
So it has the potentiality. Who has given the potentiality? History is the sequence of events. Why events happen in this way rather than being another way?
Yes.
Someone is playing.
Right.
Someone is playing.
So why God is playing with us? Why?
That is a different question.
Yes.
existence of God is a question. Why God is doing and playing in this way, that is a different question.
Right.
That is the problem of evil and the other question. Then come to the third point of your query. The primitive society was a communist society. What is egalitarian society? So who is the culprit? Who has contaminated that very good society and has, you know, given rise to this, you know, bad society with the exploitation and so many things?
Yes.
Who is the culprit? Who is the problem? And surprisingly, you will get the culprit. The problem is the science, is the technology, is the philosophy. So you are demonizing science and philosophy to to collapse the primitive communist society. So the very narrative of communist, you know, concept of history is problematic. And then come to the last question. What is the last question?
So I want to actually discuss this very thing over here, and we can actually end up our
the
speech.
Last point.
You are missing. You are talking about actually the existence of God. I mean, if the God actually wants to, what I say, if God, I want to say, you're talking about the political and religious nexus in between the both. I'm just excluding this one. I want to say, I mean, if actually, what I say, if the day of judgment is completed, right? Suppose I want to end the very question here.
You are getting involved with the question of, you know, divine role in this world, where there is sorrow, where there is tragedy, where there is negative things, where there is evil. We see so many bad things in the world. How could God be all good when there is bad things in the world, where there is, you know, unnecessary things, where there is brutal things, where there is unreasonable things, why the world is in such a way where there is bad things, where there is evil.
Yes.
Who has created evil? Who is controlling the evil? So is God playing with us with evil and good?
Yes.
Okay, this is the question, but we should, I think, discuss it
in the next point. Because, you know, the question of God is always very much sensational to the people. We should not be discussing.
It is sensational, but it is very much clear to me, and also I have lengthy discussion on this topic
on YouTube.
You know, determinism, the question of determinism, the problem of evil, and the role of divinity and God. We can discuss about it later on.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.